Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here. We are at Lindenwood University in St. Charles, Missouri, at Harlan C. Hunter Stadium for this Division I USA Rugby collegiate matchup between number 1 ranked Lindenwood University and Arkansas State. My name is Ashley Harrop, and I am joined here in the studio with none other than Mr. Christopher Schumann. Chris, good evening.
Good evening, Ashley. Wonderful to be here this evening. It's a great warm evening here in St. Charles. Perfect conditions for a game of footy, and it's been an intense one from the get-go. Lindenwood with the kickoff, pinned them deep, and now Ark State have the ball in their own half looking for a way out.
Yeah, it's defensive work from Arkansas State that gets them up front off the kickoff. Now with ball in play, it's going to be number 9, TJ Van Rensburg, who delivers the ball wide. They've got an overlap here if they can use it. Number 8 carrying well for Arkansas State, Evan Rood. He's brought down by number 12 for Lindenwood, Reese Smith.
Great work and contact there by Reese Smith, making his presence felt. Tough carry by number 1 from Arkansas State. Met hard though by Samuel Buckley, stopped in his tracks. Ark State with the ball now, opting to go wide. They have the numbers.
Oh, and that's a huge hit out wide by number 11, Kyle Hodgson. Absolutely sat down that man from Arkansas State as soon as he got the ball. Fantastic work from him coming off his wing, and he's just stopped that attack in its tracks.
Yeah, that's great work by Kyle Hodgson. He's managed to pop up in Arkansas State, number 15, Masvita Nyarim Bamboo. He's popped up right in the blind spot. Didn't have a chance to see him coming, and Kyle Hodgson's absolutely leveled him. Forced the knock on, and now Lindenwood with ball in hand, attacking scrum here in the opposition half. First chance for the backs to show us what they've been working on all week. So let's see what they bring for us.
Yeah, it was good work from the hands of Arkansas State. They managed to get the ball back from both sides of the pitch. So good work with ball in hand. First look at the scrum now. It's going to be a Lindenwood put in. We're joined by referee flew in from Austin, Texas to be with us this evening. So we are in very good hands, Chris.
Yeah, no, we are in great hands this evening. It's going to be a very interesting battle to see here at scrum time this evening. A very experienced front row for the Lindenwood Lions. A couple new players in the front row for the Red Wolves here this evening, but it's going to be an interesting battle at scrum time. We're going to keep you posted. We're going to be watching it throughout the evening, but great attacking position here for the Lions, and hopefully they can make the most of it.
Yeah, it's a very solid scrum. Some big players on both teams here, but Lindenwood are going to have this one brought to the back, and now they get the drive onto Lindenwood. They're going to get the penalty reward for it. And a fantastic first scrum from Lindenwood.
Pure power, pure dominance there at scrum time by the Lindenwood Lions. Initial contact was great, solid scrum, but Lindenwood just working in unison there, managing to get the scrum marching forward. Eventually had Arkansas State on the roller skates going backward, and they've managed to win a penalty early on here. Just over 3 minutes played, and the Lindenwood Lions are going to have a crack at goal.
Yeah, Chris, and you played in the forwards yourself, so you know all about these scrums and just how important is that, the first scrum of the day, and you've absolutely blown away the opposite team.
I tell you what, Ashley, as a forward going out there, you like to be proud of your set pieces. That's what you're there on the field to do, you know. Front rower, second rower, you're there to win your scrums, win your lineouts, and that's going to be a massive confidence boost for the Lindenwood Lions.
Yeah, so Evan Williams, the fly half for Lindenwood today from Bridgend, Wales. Went to Cowbridge Comprehensive School over in Wales, where he did his high school years. And since he's been here in America, Chris, we've seen this guy. I mean, he was a great player when he came here, don't get me wrong, but we've seen him improve leaps and bounds even since he's joined the Lindenwood program.
Yeah, no, one thing you can't fault Evan for is his effort. Evan's one of the hardest workers on and off the field. I tell you what, if there's ever anyone sticking around after practice working on the extras, it's Evan Williams, and it's plays like that make all those extra minutes he puts in show. Tough kick from the sideline. He's managed to split the uprights. 3-0 to the Lindenwood Lions, thanks to a very dominant scrum effort from the forwards and a great nudge by Evan Williams.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't follow him on Instagram, do give Evan Williams' Instagram a little look. Rugby Nudge is his page. Lots of good content on there for any aspiring kickers in the rugby world. He's got some interesting stuff on there, and practice makes perfect showing off there. So Arkansas State with the kick now. It's going to be taken well by Emmanuel Albert. He's able to get a couple of yards there, and Richard Felton just looking for someone to give him something here. It's a good hit up there again.
Great carry by Caleb O'Donoghue. He buries his head and he pumps the legs. Fight for the extra meters. You can see Richard Felton building a bit of a wall here. Puts boot to ball. Puts a box kick up. It's a great kick. It's contestable. Knocked on by Arkansas State. Player looks like he's in front of the kick. We're not going to be awarded a penalty. However, the ref is going to blow for the knock-on. Perhaps room for a bit of discussion there. The player who picked the ball up after the knock-on was in front of the player, the fullback, but nonetheless, we have a scrum down, Lindenwood ball. Great pressure on the kick chase there by the Lions, and the pressure paying off for them.
Yeah, you'd really like to see that full-on penalty in a situation like that, but you know, I'm sure after the last scrum, Chris, we're going to see something similar again here, and the boys aren't going to be too disappointed with being awarded a scrum.
Yeah, you'd like to hope so. I tell you what, if the boys are scrumming like they did that last scrum all evening, it's going to make the Lions' job a lot easier this evening. So hopefully here we can get the same result, but we'll find out in a couple seconds.
Yeah, and the front row of Lindenwood with Liam Smith, Caleb O'Donoghue and Samuel Buckley. Sam Buckley returning to Lindenwood University, Chris, and he has dropped some pounds since we last saw him.
I tell you what, it's not the only thing he's dropped. He's managed to drop his opposite number there at scrum time again, and it's another full-on penalty to the Lions at scrum time. That's big Samuel Buckley's bread and butter. I tell you what, when it comes to scrum time, there's not many in college rugby who have better technique than he does, and he's making his big presence felt there at scrum time. Back-to-back scrum penalties for the Lindenwood Lions, and now we have a line out deep in Arkansas State's 22.
And when we talk about scrums, Chris, we talk about it being front row's bread and butter. I mean, Lindenwood University surely has to be the place in America to come if you are a player in the front row who wants to be developed and learn everything you can about scrummaging. I mean, the coaching team here at Lindenwood is second to none.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Ashley. I tell you what, the set piece here at Lindenwood, it's always been one of their strong suits, scrumming especially. They pride themselves on being good scrummagers, and that's exactly what they've done. They've won their line out here, they've formed a maul, and now they're making their way towards the try line. The maul's still moving, couple players coming round from the back, filling in. Maul looks to be over the try line now, goes down, ref arm goes up, try time Lindenwood Lions. Great work there by the Lindenwood forward pack, and I tell you what, come set piece, the Lindenwood Lions know what they're doing.
Extremely disciplined work from Lindenwood at the set piece. The line-out was won. And Chris, there's a couple warnings that these players get when they have the rolling maul and it stops in its play. That is just get that ball and make the ball keep working and keep rolling. You know, rewards do come.
Yeah, no, for sure. Continuity there at maul time. Often it's very fractured during the maul. Arkansas State did do a great job there to slow the maul on a couple of occasions. The ref told them to use it, and the forwards came around, piled in, bound together strong, and kept pumping the legs, and they managed to eventually maul it over the try line and dot the ball down. So here we have it. First try of the evening goes to the Lindenwood Lions, courtesy of a great rolling maul by the Lindenwood forward pack.
Yeah, now we'll get another look at Evan Williams off the tee here. Just 8 minutes into today's matchup, and Chris, we spoke just for maybe a few seconds at the very beginning of the match about a couple of key players for both teams, but in terms of tonight's matchup, who are you looking for here for really standout performances in today's game?
Being a forward myself, I personally feel the battle is always won, or the platform is set up front. So for Lindenwood here, we're obviously going to want to see big games again from Emmanuel Albert and Tinashe Macheno. They're arguably the two biggest and strongest carriers in the Lindenwood forward pack. And that man himself right there, Evan Williams, the yard in from the touchline, he's put boot to ball and he's put it straight through the middle of the posts. Evan Williams at 10 this evening for the Lindenwood Lions is going to be looking to run the ship and make those tricky kicks that a lot of people aren't able to make. And I tell you, 5 points from the boot this evening for Evan, and if he had missed both those kicks, there wouldn't have been any concerns about it, because they were both very tricky kicks. But he's nailed them both from the sideline, and now he's given Lindenwood a healthy buffer.
Yeah, and Evan's certainly the kind of player that, you know, if he can get his confidence and get his foot in the right position on the day, he's only going to grow leaps and bounds throughout the match. Emmanuel Albert with another great carry off the kick. Unfortunately, not rolling away, the referee says.
It looks as though the referee said there that he was held, but he was continuing to crawl on the ground. So, first bit of positive territory here for the Red Wolves this evening. They've just been awarded a penalty in front of the poles just inside the Lindenwood half. looks as though they're going to have a shot at goal here. They'll be looking to do whatever they can to stop the flow of points here for the Lions. And maybe just get some points on the board for themselves.
Yeah, Arkansas State here just really looking to reduce the deficit. 10 points, an early lead for Lindenwood, and bring this down to within a converted try, Chris, really does, put a different emphasis on the game, even in the early minutes. So number 15 for here, Arkansas State, as Vita is going to try and give his team, really get them back in the swing of things and give them a good attacking position and let Lindenwood kick off.
Yeah, this one's dead in front. If he can hit it straight, I have no doubt that he's got the distance, about 35 yards. He's put boot to ball. It's going straight and it's through the poles. Great nudge there by Masvita. He'll be very stoked with that kick. Actually, just going back to the players to keep an eye on this evening. You yourself are back, represented Lindenwood many a game. Who do you think are some backline players we should keep an eye on this evening?
Yeah, I'd love to say the entire backline, Chris.
Very easily could say that as well.
Very easily could. One man who's already stood out in today's match defensively, Kyle Hodgson on the blindside wing. He's just an absolute weapon with ball in hand. He's excellent defensively, and his supporting lines really are second to none. At the same time, Connor Burns in the fullback position. He's
deadly on counter-attack.
Yes, he's deadly on counter-attack. He's going to be leading today's game from the back, and really a guy to look out for in all aspects of his match. But as we said, it could easily be all of the backline players. Arkansas State here, trying to play it deep out the back. He's driven back far by Emmanuel Alberts and number 1, Liam
Battle of
Smith.
the number 5s there. Asakada with ball in hand, trying to get one over his man, Emmanuel Albert, and Emmanuel said, not on my home field and definitely not this evening. Met hard by Emmanuel, driven him back. Hard ball gathered by Connor Burns quite comfortably. He bounces to the outside, finds Kale. Kale with the bit of footwork, beats the first defender, eventually brought down. Ball's available for Felton. Felton with the skip out, tip pass from Kian Darling to Liam Smith. Running a great line. Ball still available. Out the back it goes to Evan. Evan finds Buckley. Buckley with the short ball to Hurst, who spills it. Ball's cleaned up though by Arkansas State, who looked to be through, but the ref was playing advantage for offside.
I tell you what, Chris, if Aiden Smith had got his hands on that ball just a tiny bit better, it was just the most subtle hands from Sam Buckley, something we haven't seen since the Corey Harmon days here at Lindenwood. Just fantastic work. The player was up fast, was offside according to the referee, but great work to just beat the player with a tip pass. And if the Arkansas State player had have gone through, Sam Buckley was off to the races. He might well have caught the winner.
As much as I love to see Buckets out on the field this evening, there's no chance Buckets was going to turn and burn there. But penalty awarded to the Lindenwood Lions nonetheless, and that's what you get for constant pressure. Lindenwood have their foot on Arkansas State's throat at the moment. Continuity through the phases, phase after phase. Felton finding his forwards and they're marching it up over the advantage line. Eventually something had to give, and that just happened to be the penalty. So Evan Williams with another shot at goal here to bring his personal tally this evening to 8 points and to give the Lindenwood Lions another 10-point advantage.
That's a big belt from Evan Williams. It's gone straight through the posts again. 3 for 3 now for the Welshman. He is just really getting into his rhythm here and doing what he does best, Chris.
Yeah, I tell you what, there was a lot of meat on that kick by Evan. If you were having your dinner on the Spelman balcony, you had a good chance at catching that one. Sends it right the way back to Rosette. But nonetheless, great nudge by Evan. Lindenwood Lions back with a 10-point buffer.
Yeah, Chris, and what I'd love to say about this Lindenwood team is a player like Evan Williams really does change the game. And, with having such a confident kicker on the team, it just keeps the score tipping. When you have these penalties, really within the opposing half, the kick for goal has to be an option.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Evan loves the opportunity to kick the ball. Strong carry there by Sam Buckley. Works it 5 or 6 meters upfield. Felton looking for another box kick here. Puts boot to ball. It's a high one. Big chase by Cale Hodgson. Gathered nicely by the 8th man at the back, but brought straight down by Cale Hodgson. A couple Lindenwood Lions appear to be over the ball. Penalty goes the other way, though. Penalty to Arkansas State for not releasing the ball, not releasing the man at the ball. So penalty Arkansas State's way. They're going to breathe a sigh of relief, and now I believe they're going to put boot to ball and put this one out for a line out.
Yeah, split seconds in that one, Chris. A couple of the Lindenwood players thought the ball was one on their side. Referee said otherwise. So Arkansas State now with an opportunity to kick this ball deep, as you said, into the Lindenwood half and really get a good shot at getting the ball across the Lindenwood line.
Yeah, number 10, Aiden Ridgway with ball in hand, puts boot to ball. It's a great nudge, but it looks like he's missed touch. It's kept in by Kian Darling, taps it back in. Evan Williams gathers it at the back. He puts boot to ball, and that's a great clearance kick by Evan Williams. He's managed to move that ball from his own in goal all the way down to the 10-meter line, just inside Lion territory. Great nudge by Evan Williams, and great work by Kian Darling on the line as well. Aiden Ridgway is going to be kicking himself there for not being able to find touch, but good work by the Lions, and now they're in a much more comfortable position here in the field.
Yeah, and with the way Evan Williams is playing, Chris, I'm probably going to struggle to go 5 minutes without praising the player. A fantastic kick from him. I mean, the skill from Kian Darling on the wing, just tipping that ball and keeping it in field. I mean, those players linked together perfectly, and Lindenwood able to sight a big breath of relief here.
Very, very interesting decision here. Number 3, Jalen Farmer from Arkansas State, appears to already have been subbed by number 18, David Ige. We don't see any injury or any blood replacement like that. It appears to be a straight substitution. Pretty fairly on, but we'll be watching the game as it continues. Arkansas State with front foot ball now attacking the line. Great offload there by Arkansas State. Still moving forward. Eventually brought to ground by Emmanuel Albert. Felton shoots out the line, manages to stop the opposition scrum off. Ball still available for Arkansas State. Forwards lined up either side. They opt to go blind. Ridgway with ball in hand. He takes it to the line. Stopped short of the advantage line by the Lindenwood Lions. Number 9, TJ Van Rensburg standing over the ball. Arkansas State try to play it out the back. Tunashi Machena with the big hit on Asa Carter. Lindenwood Lions try to get over the ball. Managed to be retained by Arkansas State, and Arkansas State putting together some good phases here. TJ Van Rensburg with the show and go, scragged down by Kian Darling, manages to get over the advantage line, but ball eventually ripped loose by the Lions. Evan Williams cleans up, manages to put boot to ball, and he's found touch on the halfway line. Tell you what, that is an incredible kick by Evan Williams with the outside of the boot, really saving the Lions behind there as he gathers the loose ball just in front of the try line. Great work by Evan and great defensive effort there by the Lindenwood Lions.
Yeah, huge effort from Lindenwood, and again a fantastic effort from Evan Williams. I'm going to turn on to the Arkansas State side. It was a good few carries from them. Number 18, David Ige, he was a key man for Arkansas State last year in their conference season. So he's come on the field now, and it's a good strong carry from him. It took a few Lindenwood players to eventually bring him down, but they did so. And again, we talk about players like Tinashe Mochena and the work that they do. I mean, big hit there on Asa Carter that we saw. Arkansas State not straight at the line out is what I'm calling it from up here, but the referee says there's something else going on.
At the moment, we can see a Lindenwood Lion, Caleb O'Donoghue, working over to the sideline here. Not sure if he got a knock to the head or what it is. I think they're just going to have a check of him on the sideline. But number 16, Miguel Bermeo Arcos on the sideline getting ready to go in. We'll hopefully have a bit more information with as the game continues.
Yeah, replacement now for Lindenwood. Yeah, Miguel coming on. Chris, we've seen him play in a few games so far here at Lindenwood, and he really has been quite a talent for Lindenwood. A great addition to the team.
Great stolen lineup by Kian Darling. Gets up in front of his man, slaps it down to Felton. Felton finds Hurst, who gets the ball to Evan, puts boot to ball, finds a bit of real estate at the back. Cleaned up nicely, though, by Mizvita. He's moving sideways, though. This is exactly what the Lindenwood Lions want. Lost about 5 meters there. Aiden Hurst appears to be over the ball. They can't clear him out. Great work by the Lindenwood Lions. Steal to Aiden Hurst. Turnover ball deep inside the Red Wolves territory. This is the footy we love to see Lindenwood Lions play. Great work by the forwards and backs alike. Started with a stolen lineup by Kian Darling on the far side of the field. Evan Williams pins them deep. And great work by Aiden Hurst to get over the opposite man and make the steal.
Yeah, very exciting phase of play there, Chris. I'm trying to stay as calm as I can here up in the studio. You are letting all your emotions fly, and rightly so. I mean, this is exactly the kind of rugby that you want Lindenwood to see. They're coming off a win at Life University, the first win in program history in 15s. Last week's game unfortunately called off against Davenport University due to no fault of the Lindenwood Lions. So these boys have been raring to go for a couple of weeks now, and they really are still able to carry the momentum from beating Life University into today's match. It's fantastic to see.
Yeah, no, you can definitely feel it around the stadium, Ashley. The boys who didn't make the starting 23 this evening, the fans in the stadium, the coaching staff, you can feel that they're coming off a big win. They were hungry to defend that win against the Davenport Panthers last weekend. Unfortunately, that game called off due to some COVID issues on the Davenport side. But this is the Lindenwood's first hit out since their big win over the Running Eagles 2 weekends ago, and they want to show that it wasn't just a once-off performance. They want to show that they're here to win rugby games, and this is just the next fixture on the calendar for them. Great nudge by Evan Williams, straight through the poles again, no surprise, and we're going to cut to a short ad break.
Okay, we're back, Chris. Short commercial break. Arkansas State with the kickoff here. It's going to be Emmanuel Alberts again. They seem to be pinpointing him there. Referee didn't like what she saw from number 3, Sam Buckley. I mean,
referee adjudged Samuel Buckley to have changed his path of momentum there as he turned around to help his teammate out on the kickoff. Referee says he's changed his pathway and got in front of a chasing Arkansas State player and knocked him to the ground. So ref's going to blow him for an obstruction penalty. Penalty though inside Lindenwood half for the Arkansas State Red Wolves, and they're going to have a shot at goal here. Number 15, Mazvita with ball in hand. He's going to look to make it 2 for 2 and try and reduce the 13-point deficit back to a more manageable 10-point lead.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Chris, there was big discussion on the Arkansas State team before they decided to give Mazvita the tee and allow him to kick for more points. I think a couple of the players wanted to kick for corner and try and claim more than the 3 points that were on offer. Arkansas State ultimately deciding for the kick, so they're trying to play the long game here. I will just go back to that penalty, Chris. I do feel like poor Sam Buckley has been slightly hard done by there. But hey, the referee's decision is final in the game of rugby, and we will live with what it is. So Arkansas State here with an opportunity to close the deficit.
Mazvita 1 from 1 so far, puts boot to ball, looks like a great nudge, but he pushed it left. So the score stays 16-3 to the Lindenwood Lions. Evan Williams with ball in hand now with the 22-meter dropout. My guess is he's going to send this one all the way downfield. We'll wait and see exactly what does happen.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Chris. It has gone deep and it's picked up well at the back. Mazvita with ball in hand now, and we saw his carry earlier on. He's tried there, but slipped a little bit. I think he's been hit equally well by the Lindenwood player now. Arkansas State really need to get that ball out, and they do. Even numbers here is number 10, Aiden Ridgway, takes the ball in for Arkansas State. The referee not happy with number 12 for Lindenwood. Reese Smith there on the floor. Just didn't make enough of an effort to roll away, unfortunately. So penalty for Arkansas State. And this one, Chris, they probably will kick deep. But that earlier kick that didn't make a touch, I'm sure will still be ringing in the ears.
He's missed it again.
Commentator's curse there. He's not done it. Evan Williams with a great inside step.
Evan Williams putting number 13 from Arkansas State, Daniel Roth, on ice skate, sending him the wrong way. Puts boot to ball, high ball. Well gathered though by Aiden Ridgway, making up for his missed touch kick. Asakada with ball. He offloads it to his fellow second rower, Dante Bedoni. Brought down. Mazvita with ball in hand. He's got dangerous feet, does Mazvita. Hasn't been able to break the line just yet this evening. Daniel Ige with the tough carry gets over the advantage line. Ball available for TJ Van Rensburg. He finds his fly half, sends it out to Dante.
Good tackle in the middle by Reese Smith. I mean, it was great work and just forced the guy to make the pass that really wasn't there, and he's just flown it into probably about the 6th row of the stands.
Yeah, great line speed there by Reese Smith. Got right up in number 6, Dale Hartman's face. Forced him to make the pass with very limited time, and he's flung it to ground. Ball's gone forward, missed the winger, out into touch. So I believe Lindenwood have the choice of a scrum or a line out, and it looks like they're going to take the line out here.
Yeah,
Miguel Bermeo Arcos, who made his way onto the field in place of Caleb O'Donoghue, who we hear has suffered a shoulder injury. He looked to be okay when he come off the field, so we hope it's not too bad. But Miguel's first play of the game, great line out, finds Kian Darling, safe, secure ball. What more can you ask for? Short ball by Evan Smith, finds Stefan Alberts. Stefan Alberts takes it hard into the advantage line, manages to get over. Ball available. Emmanuel Albert does a great job to bump off Asakada, make him look like a young boy trying to make that tackle. Ball goes wide. Cale Hodgson in space. He's galloping down the touchline. Flings it inside to Nashima. Try!
Chris, it's electric work from Lindenwood. It started at the line out and it's gone the full width of the pitch. Subtle hands from Connor Burns puts Cale Hodgson away. And just as you thought he might keep that ball in his hands, just a subtle offload to Nashima. Look at the powerhouse. He's absolutely blasted.
This is great running rugby to watch by the Lindenwood Lions. Very exciting stuff. Forwards and backs combining well. Everyone doing their jobs. Just really exciting stuff all around the ball. And that's a very, very well-worked Lindenwood team try there. Probably going to be seeing no one in this week's upcoming highlights package. Great work there. Forwards and backs combining together. Great final offload there by Cale Hodgson after he beat the first defender and made a break down the wing. Flings it inside, finds Tunashe Machena, and he's a big man to stop 5 meters out from the try line. And as you can see, they weren't able to do it. Another try to the Lindenwood Lions. 27 minutes gone, 21-3 to the Lindenwood Lions. Evan William with another conversion from the sideline. He's nailed 3 from 3 so far this evening, so you wouldn't be surprised to see him make this one, Ashley.
Yeah, no, you certainly wouldn't, but we definitely don't want to curse him in any way. He's been playing absolutely flawlessly so far this evening. For those of you watching at home, we do hope that you are streaming successfully through FTF Network. We're very grateful for their streaming services. And please do check in with us on the Lindenwood Facebook page. If you've got any comments, any shout-outs that you would like to do, please do shoot us a message. We'd love to hear from you wherever in the world you may be watching. And we hope you are finding this as entertaining as we are up here in the studio. Unfortunately, the kick just wide from Evan Williams. So 21-3 with 28 minutes played here at Lindenwood University. Arkansas State again are going to find Emmanuel Albert off the kick.
Tell you what, Ashley, that's a very interesting decision by Arkansas State. They've had maybe 4 or 5 kicks so far this evening, and they keep kicking it straight to Emmanuel Albert, who's one of the toughest carriers on the Lindenwood team. Just doesn't seem to make much sense. But great hands by the Lindenwood backs. They find Stefan Alberts. He makes a line break. He's made 15 meters down the field. This is just great footy by the Lindenwood Lions, finally making their way into opposition half here.
Yeah, it is great rugby, Chris. And I tell you what, what's equally as great is seeing the confidence in Evan Williams. The fake kick there allowed him to get some space. Cale Hodgson's put ball on boot, unfortunately straight into touch there. He's going to apologize to his teammates. But as I was saying, the confidence in young Evan Williams today is absolutely paying him dividends. I mean, Stefan Alberts as well, and he had ball in hands. We saw him play fantastically well in prior matches for Lindenwood. I mean, he's done huge effort there to take himself from the 30 to the 50 on the field.
Yeah, no, great effort there by Stefan Alberts. South African-born centre, did his high schooling at Affis, Afrikaans Hoër School in Pretoria, South Africa. Freshman here at Lindenwood this year, and he has just been electric every time he's got his hands on the ball. Show and go there by Stefan. Over the advantage line again, ball's available, cleaned over by Reece Smith. Felton standing at the base. He finds Miguel. Miguel brushes the first defender, makes it look easy, and keeps marching down the field. Ball available for Richard again. Felton out the back, finds Evan. Evan finds Buckley on a short ball, who's brought down to ground hard, but nonetheless, ball's there, it's available. Short ball from Felton to captain MJ Spannenberg. He's brought to ground. Arkansas State are reaching for it. Unfortunately, missed the Pulfer there on the ground. Tough carry by Emmanuel Albert. Ball's available. Pops out the side. Liam Smith dives on it. Felton with the ball at the base of the ruck again. He goes out the back to Reece Smith. Reece Smith dummies the first defender. Beats another. Eventually gets brought down to ground. The missed first tackles here are really starting to hurt Arkansas State. Inside ball from Evan Felton. Finds Cale Hodgson inside foot. He's over the try line. What a try. Lindenwood Lions making it look very easy here this evening. You can feel the confidence of the players on the field. Everyone's running lines, giving Evan Williams options with ball in hand. And Lindenwood are over to extend their lead even further here in the first half. The Lions are looking unstoppable.
Yeah, Chris, I think we're going to get to some almost falling out of the window in the studio. But, I mean, rightly so. As you said, Lindenwood playing absolutely out of their skin so far this evening. I mean, I could just echo what you said and say everything all over again, but I won't. Fantastic work from Lindenwood. And Arkansas State here having a big team huddle underneath the posts. They're going to be talking to one another about just how they can stop Lindenwood. And Chris, let's just turn to that side of things for one moment. How do you stop such a dominant Lindenwood side this early on in the match? I mean, 26-3 here with a kick to come, 30 minutes into the game. What do you do to try and slow them down and regain this game?
I mentioned it just earlier, Ashley, and the missed first-time tackles are really starting to pile up here for Arkansas State. Anytime a Lindenwood ball carrier gets the ball in hand, they're able to brush off the first defender, and then they're scragged down by the second and third defender, which is evidently causing space out wide and opening up all these holes for the backline players. And Lindenwood Lions are able to spot those holes, and much to Evan Williams' help, he's got Lindenwood ball carriers running lines into all these holes that are being left by the Arkansas State Red Wolves. So for the Arkansas State Wolves, you really just want to take a couple deep breaths here, regroup, and you got to be making the first-time tackles.
So Evan Williams successful with the kick, brings the total to 28-3 in favor of Lindenwood. I mean, we word this another way, Chris. We could say that the score is 13-3 to Evan Williams in today's match.
Yeah, no, Evan Williams has had a very successful evening so far with the boot, and I mean, the way this game's going, you think he's going to have a lot more kicking to do as the evening goes on. Arkansas State here with another kickoff. This time they've opted to not kick it to Emmanuel, which I think is a good decision, but they found Evan Williams, who puts boot to ball. Does a good job of finding touch. Hand up in the air, apologizing. I think a lot of fly halves in college rugby would be happy with that clearance, but Evan Williams apparently thought he could get a bit more on it. Nonetheless, line out to Arkansas State on the Lindenwood 10-meter line, just inside Lions territory.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's safe rugby from Evan, and I mean, there's really no need at this stage in the game to push things any further. So he's done all that was needed there, pushing it out about on the 10-meter line. So George Sharp, the captain for Arkansas State, with the throw. It's going to be turned over from Lindenwood.
Another lost set piece there for the Red Wolves. We spoke earlier about what they could do. We said first-time tackles, but turning the ball over at set pieces, it's just as dangerous. Misvita tries to put a clearance kick through. It's charged down by the Lindenwood Lions, gathered up by the Red Wolves at the back. They're now under pressure in their own half. Ball available at the back of the scrum. Lindenwood Lions counter-rucking. It's scrappy. It looks as though the Red Wolves have eventually cleaned it up. Ball comes out to Daniel Ige. Tough carry. He manages to get over the advantage line, which has been a rare sight for the Red Wolves this evening. Ball available for TJ Van Rensburg. Finds Asakada. Asakada swings it wide to number 12, Joel Penrose. They play hands out to the wing. Eventually brought down. Ball still available. Asakada again with ball in hand.
It's just a step that goes nowhere there, and he's met by Lindenwood players. So Arkansas State here kind of stuck in their own half. They're going to look for something here. They do have an overlap if they choose to use it. The ball goes wide, brought down well on the wing by Morgan Purcell. But Arkansas State here with the high clean out at the ruck. So Lindenwood going to get the penalty. Looks like it was high on Cian Darling.
Yeah, the captain there for Ark State, number 2, George Sharp, going for what we in the rugby community would call a gator roll at ruck time. Looks as though he had his arms around Cian Darling's neck though, and with the new law changes, you obviously can't make contact with the opposition player above the shoulder. So the gator roll with the arm around the neck is a penalisable offence, and the official has done just that. Lindenwood, Evan Williams puts boot to ball, line out in the opposition 22. Lindenwood will be looking to maul over another try here just before the stroke of half-time.
Yeah, number 16, Miguel, will be putting the ball in. Went to the University of Valencia before he made his way here. The business major is a sophomore at Lindenwood.
Ball finds Aiden Hurst in the air. They've gone for a very tricky shift of the maul. They bring it down, but the maul is not set on Aiden Hurst. He's passed the ball off and they've set the maul up on a different player. Arkansas State doing a great job of disrupting this maul, and Tinashe Machena, Lindenwood Lions have been driven back on their own ball. Ball's available though, much to the Lions' relief. Still in the opposition half. Emmanuel Albert met hard at the line. Double team, chop tackle on Emmanuel. He goes nowhere. Ball's available for Fulton. Arkansas State slow on the roll away. No advantage comes though. MJ Spannenberg with the tough carry. Wriggles out of one. Ball available for Fulton. He swings it to Evan. Evan off the left foot. Half line break. Clean line break. He's through. Eventually brought down. Ruck form. Ball's available for Fulton at the back. He flings it out to Kian Darling. Stiff handoff. Gets rid of one. Brought down half a meter short of the line. Ball available for there. Kian Darling picks it up again. He rolls to the blind side. He's brought down. Try time, Lindenwood Lions.
That's relentless work from Lindenwood. And it looks like it was Sam Buckley in the end who decided to do that pick and roll in order to get the try for Lindenwood. As we hear the Lion chant coming loud and clear from the fans in the stadium this evening. Chris, I think if things continue the way they're going, we're going to have to get you a new throat for tomorrow because, boy, oh boy, are you excited.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff, actually. Before the game, I don't think anyone would have picked a scoreline like this at halftime. Lions with a 30-point lead before the half with the conversion to come. Very exciting stuff from the Lindenwood Lions. Everything just seems to be going their way. They look very, very comfortable with ball in hand. Everything's looking slick. Everything, passes are crisp, everything's going their way. They just look like a well-rounded, hungry team.
Yeah, Chris, and we were speaking with head coach Josh Macy before today's game for a brief period and just talking with him about how the team has changed over the past month with obviously the COVID pandemic and everything. And, you know, he said while a lot of programs around the country have been on pause, that absolutely has not been the case here at Lindenwood University. Things have been in full flow. Obviously, safe practices where possible, but he said that the systematic changes that have happened to this program have been monumental and really are the founding reason as to why this team is as successful as it is, alongside, obviously, the talent that these players have.
Yeah, you couldn't be more correct, Ashley. These boys here in the Lindenwood Lions rugby squad, not just the 23 on the field this evening, but all 60 of them in the wider training group, they've had to make massive sacrifices as college students, not just this year, but last year as well. Massive sacrifices made both on and off the field, and that's the reason why we're able to watch this footy game here this evening. And you got to tip your hats to the Lindenwood Lion boys, as well as those boys from Arkansas State.
Yeah, it's a huge sacrifice, but one that I'm sure we would make given the chance. Chris, Evan Williams again is going to take this one. Does kick it a little deeper this time. He'll probably be a little more happy with that one, pushing it out just past the halfway.
Yeah, no hands in the air after that one. A little cheeky grin on his face. He's happy with that. Great clearance kick from deep inside his 22. Manages to get the ball over the halfway line into opposition territory. Great nudge by Evan. He really does have an educated boot.
Yeah, I tell you what, Chris, I mean, you're not a kicker by nature. I've seen you kick the ball a few times, perhaps when you shouldn't. But, you know, if you're kicking off to this Lindenwood side, you know, you've got Emmanuel Alberts on one side, you've got Evan Williams on the other, and both sides you're getting pummeled. What do you do?
I don't know. You got to find somewhere else to put the ball. A rare set piece win there by Arkansas State. That's a great throw by the captain. Finds his man at the back of the line out, and that's a tricky line out throw to make, and he's made it look easy, but much needed set piece win there for the Red Wolves. Ball in hand now with Dante. He's moving backwards. Eventually gets it to the line. He's held up well by Tinashe. Does the referee call a maul? No, the ball's found its way to ground. Ball's there, available at the back of the ruck. Penalty comes for a slow roll away there by the Lindenwood Lions.
Yeah, it was absolutely manhandled for a second there by Tinashe Machena, just hanging him in the air like a rag doll.
Yeah, he's a beast, is Tinashe. Very strong lad. Zimbabwean fella, senior at Lindenwood this year. He is studying interactive media, really enjoying his time here. He's been a wonderful asset to the Lindenwood rugby team. He'll be looking to make his presence felt hopefully next year in the MLR, I believe his aspirations are. But on the stroke of halftime, Arkansas State get a penalty. They kick it into opposition half. They're hopefully going to win their line out here and be able to give their backs some clean ball to work with.
Yeah, I tell you what, Chris, one thing I really do like from this Arkansas State team is when they do have the ball in hand, their backline is able to move the ball very well. I mean, the passes are crisp, they're fast, and they are working the ball around the field. They're just met by an absolutely relentless Lindenwood defense.
Yeah, no, the Lindenwood defense this evening has been flawless. And I tell you what, you're right, Ashley. When the Red Wolves have had ball and they've got a bit of time on the ball, they have some very skilled backs in their back line. But the Lindenwood Lions have just done a great job of starving them of possession And when they do have the ball, the line speed of the Lions, they're right up in the face. But here go the Red Wolves. Slick hand. Misvita with ball in hand. He swings it out to his winger. 1-on-1. Slips Connor Burns' tackle. Morgan Purcell with the cross-cover tackle. Looks as though his legs were scragged out into touch. The two referees are going to come together here. The touch judge and the on-field referee. We're about to await the decision. Try is awarded. Not enough done there in the corner. Unfortunate missed tackle by Connor Burns. Morgan Purcell just not able to do enough. Red Wolves have finally earned themselves a try. 2 minutes into stoppage time here at the end of the first half, but very, very well-deserved points there by the Red Wolves.
Yeah, Chris, just as we were praising their backline plays, I mean, it's almost as if we're speaking loud enough for the players to hear here on the field. Excellent backline work from Arkansas State. Eventually put the ball in the hands of
Emil Blank, number 14, with the headgear on the sideline. He's done absolutely great work with ball in hand to beat the first defender and then put enough pace on the ball to get round the second and dot it down in the corner. It's a great effort by Emil.
Yeah, fantastic work there. Now we'll look out wide for Masvita. He's going to have this one a go from right out here on the touchline. We've seen Evan Williams knock over the same thing. It's a good strike there. If it starts to curl, it doesn't. It stays straight. So an unfortunate no addition there for Arkansas State. So 33-8, your Lindenwood lead as we go into the halftime break here at Harlan C. Hunter Stadium. Lots of excitement in that first half. Still a full 40 minutes of rugby to come. Chris, what are we looking for in the second half?
Guys, the Lindenwood Lion, I tell you what, they're not looking to change a thing. It's been a very exciting first half. Great play by the Lindenwood Lions. Everything seems to be going their way. They're making the Red Wolves know that they have travelled to St. Charles this evening. They're playing on their home stadium, and they're making their presence felt. But for the Red Wolves in the second half, Ashley, forwards especially, they're going to want to work hard to secure their set piece, because that try they've just scored right there on the stroke of halftime came from a wonderful line-out ball on the opposite side of the Red Wolves. They just need to win their set piece, give their talented backs a platform to work from like they've just done, and just let their backs get a chance with ball in hand.
Yeah, excellent summary, Chris. I'll add nothing more to that. You've said everything that needs to be said. So we're going to take a short break here for halftime. We'll be back with more action. Please do stay tuned. We look forward to being back with you shortly. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to second half action here at Harlan C. Hunter Stadium in St. Charles, Missouri. Lindenwood with a great first half, 33-8. They lead the Arkansas State Red Wolves in this Division I conference matchup. The second of two matchups, Chris, a lot of action here to come in the second half as Lindenwood awarded an early penalty. What do we have upcoming in the next 40 minutes, other than you trying to jump out the window of excitement?
Hopefully a lot more exciting rugby. Hopefully a lot more of what we saw in the first half. But yeah, Red Wolves discipline letting them down there. Early penalty goes the way of Lindenwood after the Red Wolves have deemed to join the ruck from the side. So penalty to the Lindenwood Lions. Give the opportunity to Evan Williams to put boot to ball and put it out into touch deep in Red Wolves territory, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, it's a great nudge from Evan Williams. Lindenwood with a great opportunity here to just build on their first half lead and come out of this short break just as enthusiastic as they went in. Arkansas State with a great backline play to give themselves a score late in the half, just really to close things off. Aiden Hurst now with the ball there.
Short ball to Tinashe. Great carry by Tinashe, well over the advantage line. Gained some precious meters there for the Lions. Felton finds Evan. Ball goes to ground, but nicely cleaned up by Connor Burns. He's eventually scragged to ground. Ball's available for Felton. He swings it out to Emmanuel Albert, who's met hard in the contact by number 18, David Ige, and he has had a massive impact since he's been on the field. Strong counter ruck by the Red Wolves. Ball's now available on their side. Ball comes out. Masvita with boot to ball. Kicks it deep. Finds a bit of real estate. Ball pops down. Evan Williams tracking back. Manages to gather it. Puts boot to ball. And finds touch on the halfway line. Another great clearance kick by Evan Williams. He just can't seem to do any wrong this evening, does he, actually?
No, he can't. I mean, It's just superb work from him. You can tell that he really has taken the last year to work on his graft, work on his play, and get himself in a real state of composure. And it just looks so comfortable for him in today's match. He's really finding his rhythm. His kicks are going where he wants them to, and he's able to lead his team as he wants. Arkansas State, as we said, number 18 that came on the field, David Ige, doing fantastically well for the Red Wolves. And George Sharp for the Red Wolves does manage to find that line out. It's taken at the back by number 7, Nathan Rath. Ball out wide now for the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Oh, it's gone too deep there from Joel Penrose.
Speed by the Lions. Lions are shooting up out of the line, giving the opposite number absolutely no time on the ball. And the resulting consequences of that is that the Red Wolves are forcing passes that they should perhaps just hold on to. There the ball goes to ground, trundles backward, cleaned up by the Red Wolves, but maybe about 15-20 meters further back than where they initially had the ball.
Yeah, he's met hard by Aiden Hurst, who really didn't let him gain an inch at all. Aiden Hurst over the top of that ball now, but he's going to be driven backwards by 2 Arkansas State players. Ball out wide now for Arkansas State through number 13, Daniel Rath. And the box kick comes in now from Arkansas State. It's going to be taken well by Connor Burns, who's going to find Evan Williams, who's got space outside of him. He's going to take the space.
This is dangerous stuff. You don't want to leave that much space to Evan Williams. Great clean out. Picked up by MJ Spannenberg. Quick hands by Reese Smith. Cale Hodgson beats the first man again. Cale on Masvita. Masvita brings him down. Good placement there by Cale. Good work by the forwards to get across. Clean ball from Evan. Evan finds Liam Smith running a hard line straight over the top of the would-be tackler. Ball available again for Richard Felton. Felton with the inside ball to Kean Darling. Breaks the line. Gets through the first one. Finds Aiden on the offload. Aiden flings it inside to Tinashe, but the ball from Aiden has gone forward. So we're going to come back for a Red Wolf scrum.
Yeah, well, the referees deemed it a knock on Chris, but from our angle, looks like Hurst has thrown the ball a couple yards forward. Very Tom Brady-like in that pass. He'll be disappointed with his efforts there, but I mean, he's been playing fantastically well, the open side flanker for Lindenwood so far. Just an unfortunate wayward pass for what would have been another Lindenwood score through Tinashe Muchena. Lindenwood, nice face play there. Arkansas State are going to have to put in at this scrum, and got a great opportunity, scrum centre field, a good opportunity to split this Lindenwood backline and put something together.
Yeah, no, great attacking position here, great attacking scrum placement, centre field, gives them options both sides of the ball. But the last thing the Red Wolves want to do here is concede points. If they want to stay in this game, they need to strike hard and they need to make sure that they're the first ones to strike. Looping ball there by TJ van Rensburg, gets through the line, great offload out the back of the hand. Number 11 makes a charge downfield. Keelan Watkins, but great cover tackle by Kean Darling. Scragged into touch, and he says Red Wolves aren't going anywhere too fast this evening.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Cale Hodgson was ready with that ball. If things didn't go the way that they should have gone with the player being brought out into touch, he was ready to go. Richard Felton as well wanted to take the quick line out, but no one really ready there. So number 16, Miguel, the Spaniard, putting in for Lindenwood here as what should be another great attacking opportunity for Lindenwood.
Yeah, the Lindenwood Lions are really just exuding confidence with ball in hand. Felton finds Reese Smith. Reese Smith out the back. Burns runs a short line. Finds Cale. Cale swings the ball out to Morgan. Morgan with space. Puts boots to ball. Chips it through. Sits up. Oh, well cleaned up at the back by number 9, TJ van Rensburg in goal.
I tell you what, Chris, I mentioned him earlier on in the game. You asked me who the players could be. I think I said his name. If I didn't, I meant to. Morgan Purcell on the wing. That's exactly what you want from the winger. The ball's gone wide. He's got a little bit of space. Defender's up in front of him. Just puts the chip through, and it's really a foot race. Arkansas State player did well to get there, but if not, he's clean through. He got the bounce he wanted. Exactly what you want from the winger who's able to just put boot to ball and give a little bit extra on the wing.
Yeah, very unlucky there for Morgan Purcell, because we all know the rugby ball does funny things when it bounces. Unfortunately for the Red Wolves, the bounce went their way that time, and they managed to ground it. Deep kick out. They find Evan Williams just on the halfway line. He puts a absolute skyscraper up. That one's going to come down with snow on it, and the Arkansas State player is met hard by MJ Spannenberg in the tackle just inside their own half. Arkansas State trying to run it out. Solid double tackle there by Kian and Miguel. Ball's available for the Red Wolves. TJ Van Rensburg finds Asakada. Ball's going through the hands here. Arkansas State appear to be making a little bit of forward momentum. Another box kick there by TJ Van Rensburg. Ball's gone out on the full, and it's going to come all the way back into the Red Wolves' half for a Lindenwood attacking lineout.
I tell you what, Connor Burns, the fullback for Lindenwood from Reading, England, went to Millfield High School. He looked incredibly calm as that ball kind of sailed down towards the touchline. I think if that had stayed infield, he might well have put the afterburners on to chase after it, but he was confident it was going straight out to touch, and it did. Chris, 7 minutes and 45 seconds into the second half, and it's very different already to what we've seen in the first half. Slower play from Lindenwood, and Arkansas State are able to put a few phases together and get little spurts of momentum here.
Yeah, I think the change in play is being dictated by Arkansas State at the moment. Lindenwood doing nothing different to what they did in the first half, but the Arkansas State Red Wolves just putting up more of a fight here at the advantage line, more physical and contact. Evan Williams steps easily past the first over the advantage line. Ball's available for Felton. He pops it up to Tinashe. Tinashe brought down. Felton gathers it up. He loops backwards. Reed Smith throws a dummy. Gets rid of the first tackler. Eventually brought down. Great phase play here by the Lindenwood Lions. Ball's available again for Felton. He finds Tinashe in a massive hole. Tinashe straight through the line. Eventually brought down. Ball's available once again for Felton. He swings it out to Evan. Evan with the skip pass finds Burnsy. Burnsy with some footwork. Darts through the line. Brought down just 10 meters short of the try line. Exciting stuff here by the Lions.
Yeah, Tinashe Machena got his boot ripped off in that tackle, but I mean, he caught the ball about a meter behind himself and stuck it to his hip.
Penalty was awarded to the Lindenwood Lions there. They opted to take it quick. Red Wolves weren't back 10, so we're coming back for another penalty, not back 10. With this advantage, you'd hope that the Lions would put this one out and try and maul it over again, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Evan put boot to ball again and take 3 points.
Yeah, Chris, one thing I will say from Lindenwood is that they're able to do really, really well. Arkansas State's line speed is exceptional. They're getting up really fast in Lindenwood's face, but the Lindenwood player is able to recognize it, and it's just a step back inside, and that play is beaten, and there's no one else up just with the same line speed that first player has, which gives Lindenwood the ability to start going forwards again. And you spoke in the first half about Arkansas State's first-time tackles and, you know, that heads-up tackle, and it really is that ability on the Lindenwood player to step back inside, beat that first player, and then resume play.
You're absolutely right, Harold. The jagged line speed here from the Red Wolves is kind of working to their detriment, in fact. The line speed coming up, it's not a consistent line, it's very jagged, so there's one player shooting, but it's allowing the Lindenwood player just to absorb the pressure and step inside and get rid of the first defender, but there's no one on him once he beats that first man. The Red Wolves will be hoping to try and get a bit of consistency here and come up as a line, shoot up together and take the Lions' space.
Yeah, a couple of substitutions for Arkansas State. Don't really seem to have had any for Lindenwood other than the first half replacement. Still the same
team. Great ball by Miguel. They throw it to the back of the lineup. It's cleaned up. Oh, the referee's going to blow for a bit of truck and trailer there. But that was a great ball by Miguel. What appeared to be a great worked move there by Lindenwood Lions. The ref is unfortunately going to blow them for truck and trailer obstruction. So, penalty to the Red Wolves. Number 12, Joel Penrose, puts boot to ball. And this time, fortunately for the Red Wolves, he is able to find touch.
Yeah, so one of the replacements for the Arkansas State Red Wolves, number 7, Nathan Raff, makes his way off the field, replaced by number 20, Torres is the only name we have here on the team sheet, so Torres it shall be. Arkansas State starting to put on some replacement, perhaps some fresh legs, Chris, will do them dividends in this early stages of the second half.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, Ashley, the coach has really got to try and do whatever he can. Things haven't been going this way, and he's hopefully going to try. Another ball goes to ground. Just buries the Red Wolves even deeper in their half. Cleaned up by Mizvita. Good carry by him, but the ball to ground has really just pushed him even further back. Aiden Hurst with an attempted interception. Ball goes just over his hand. If he had managed to grab onto that, the Aussie fella would have been straight through. But he's grabbed a man and he's dragged him out into touch. Great defensive effort by Aiden Hurst, not willing to give up there. Great work by the number 7 flanker.
Yeah, I tell you what, Aiden Hurst is a man who works day in, day out. And I think he keeps playing about 20 minutes after the game's finished. He's just an absolute bull in the china shop in the right way. Everywhere he is on the field, he's an absolute menace. I know his family watching in Australia will definitely be very proud of his performance today. And thanks to all the Hurst family for tuning in with us this evening. Chris, speaking of the weather here in St. Charles, I mean, give it 3 weeks ago and we were under about 8 inches of snow, you know, negative degrees. Here we are, and it's a chilly but a much nicer evening here in St. Charles, Missouri.
St. Charles locals will tell you 50 degrees in early March is like a summer's day for them. So people here, a lot of people out in shorts and t-shirts. A couple of us foreigners, though, are bundled up, not quite used to this weather. The Lindenwood Lions, ball in hand, on the front foot again, 5 or 6 meters away from the try line. Hopefully they can make this pressure pay and come away with the try here.
Yeah, Sam Buckley was hit back there by Asa Carter. Richard Felton just giving some short balls, allowing his forwards here to have a little bit of hit-ups and do what they do best.
Aiden Hurst again. He's pumping the legs, manages to get over the advantage line. Ball's available. Short ball by Felton. Unfortunately, it's knocked on there by Emmanuel Albert. Ball comes available on the Red Wolves side. They have the knock-on advantage. They're going to try run it from deep in their own half, which is really brave. Strong tackle by Tinashe and Stefan Alberts. Good double-team tackle there. Brings the man to ground. Scrum off, picks and goes blind. Not much space, so not sure where he's going. But he manages to pump the legs, get over the advantage line. All available now for the Red Wolves. Ball comes out the back. Short ball to number 17, the substitution, Tim Allwine. Ball available again for the Red Wolves. Still inside their own 22. Still opting to run with the ball in their own 22. Brave stuff here from the Red Wolves. Taking into the line, pumping the legs, managing to work it right up to the 22-meter line. Great discipline here by the Lindenwood Lions all this evening. They've managed to stay on sides the entire time, making a conscious effort.
Yeah, Arkansas State stringing the phases together now, rewarded with a penalty. That player not rolling away, number 16,
Quick
Miguel.
tap and go by TJ Van Rensburg of the Red Wolves. Manages to break the line, takes it from the 22 right up to the 10-meter line. Ball spills out the side. Looks as though the Red Wolves have dived on it, but they've knocked it on in the process. Very frantic stuff there by the Red Wolves. But that's probably the best go-forward ball they've got, and possibly their first line break of the game. Unfortunate for them not to capitalize on that one.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic work from Arkansas State stringing the phases together. Lindenwood equally impressive in their defensive efforts, not committing too many players to the ruck, just doing what's necessary and bringing the guy to ground and letting Arkansas State do what they need to do with the ball. We see a replacement now from Lindenwood. Number 3, Samuel Buckley, will take a ball and rest on the bench. It's been fantastic. The stadium announcer very loud here.
You can hear the fans on the opposite side of the stadium as well, making a lot of noise for Big Sam Buckley. Great effort by him this evening on the field. And it looks as though number 17, Bjorn Graham, another South African from Affis as well, it makes his way onto the field. I've heard a lot of great things about Bjorn this week. Heard he's a very great scrummager, very technical at scrum time, so we'll be interested to see what he does here at his first scrum. Richard Felton with ball in hand, Lindenwood Lions booked feed. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, Chris, definitely echo that about Bjorn Graham, the number 17 for Lindenwood. Definitely heard, you know, a lot of the Lindenwood players as well, which is testament to the way that he's playing in training as well as on the field. He's a really hard worker and definitely knows what he's doing at scrum time. So definite player to watch out for the remaining 25 minutes in today's match. Number 17, Bjorn Graham.
Also down here on the sideline, we can see the American Bulldog, number 22, Cody Earhart, up and down the sideline. He's got his tracksuit off, he's warm, he's ready to come on, so I think it's just going to be a matter of minutes before we see Cody make his presence on the field. And I tell you what, folks, when Cody does hit the field, he'll make an instant impact. You'll be hearing a lot of his name for the remainder of the evening. But here we go, scrum down, Richard Felton with the feed. Great counter hook there by the Red Wolves. It looks as though their hookers managed to win one against the feed. With great scrum by Lindenwood Lions, managed to march right back over the Red Wolves. Penalty the Lindenwood Lions' way. Good early steal there on the hook by the captain, George Sharp. Good work by the hooker there, but the power and the technicality of the Lindenwood scrum just manages to assert their dominance and march right back over the Red Wolves to win the ball back.
Yeah, Chris, and we talk about the testament that it is when the forwards do such a great job at the scrum, and they have every single one of the backs coming over to congratulate them. The only one that didn't was number 11, Cal Hodgson, and he had both hands above his head clapping the boys for their superb effort at scrum
you
time.
can forgive Kale. He's all the way over on this wing here. It's a 45-metre trot there for old Kale, so the hand above the head clap will have to suffice. But after the penalty, Evan puts boot to ball. Another Lindenwood line out here in the Red Wolves 22. You've got to tip your hat to the Red Wolves. This is an immensely different effort we've seen on defense here so far from the Red Wolves. Not letting the Lindenwood boys take any easy points here, making them work for every inch, and they forced another turnover at line-out time. Red Wolves again with possession in their own 22. Still not going to kick it. They opt to run from inside their own 22 again. You've got to admire this, the tenacity of this Red Wolves rugby team. Ball available for TJ. TJ swings it out to Asakada. Asakada with a bit of footwork, but going backwards.
Yeah, Chris, Arkansas State, it's brave work from them with keeping the ball in hand and just running with everything they've got. I mean, it's paid dividends earlier on points in the game, and it's going to do well for them here. Eventually, the ball kicked away by number 20 for the Red Wolves. It's going to be picked up at the back by Evan Williams, who's got to catch his legs and does so. Nice pass away to Connor Burns.
A lot of space here for Connor. He's drifting. He's created a 3-on-2, eventually brought down. Great work by the Lindenwood forwards, who are there again. Not one step off pace on the forward this evening. Great clean out. Easy ball available at the back of the ruck for Richard Fulton. Richard Fulton flings it out to MJ Spannerberg, who tucks his head and has managed to wiggle his way through two defenders. Ball at the back. It looks as though we're setting up here for a box kick.
Yeah, Felton, he just does the slight delay there, and he does it time and time again very well. Unfortunate work from Kel Hodgson there, not able to bat the ball backwards. That's going to go forward. Knock on from him. Chris, the Lindenwood number 9, the cheeky dummy at the box kick time, puts every single one of the Arkansas State players offside and just gives him all the time in the world he needs to do that box kick.
Yeah, no, it's a great bit of rugby knowledge there by Richard Fulton. It's something that you can't coach. It just comes with years and years of experience of playing the game. Does a quick dummy, draws all the opposition players offside, then he has all the time in the world to put his box kick up. And it was a good kick by Richard, very contestable. Unfortunately, just forward off the fingers of Cal Hodgson as he goes up to contest. But over the stadium speakers, you can hear another substitution. Cody Earhart makes his way onto the field in place of Aiden Hurst, and MJ Spannenberg, the captain, has moved from the second row to the flank in place of Kian Darling, and Ross Brockett is brought in on the second row. Backline remains unchanged so far. Ball available at the back of the scrum for the Red Wolves. TJ Van Rensburg does a great job getting rid of Richard Fulton at the base of the scrum, but eventually brought down to ground. Ball swung out to the captain. Captain flings it off to David Ige. Big tackle by the substitute Cody Earhart. And we told you hear his name as soon as he comes on. Massive tackle by the American there. The Red Wolves opt to sling the ball out wide. They've made a bit of meters there. Eventually brought to ground once again. Ball available for TJ Van Rensburg.
Yeah, they've recovered well of the Arkansas State Red Wolves after that. And a dummy line there for the Red Wolves. Player still with ball in hand. He doesn't want to give it away too easily. Number 22 now, James Lukey, takes the ball into contact. He's met well by number 20.
Ripped in contact by Tanache! Tanache ripped in contact offload to Cale Hodgson. He's down the wing and it's another try for Cale Hodgson. Great work by Tanache Mochena in the contact there. Not only does he come in with the solid shoulder, but he rips the ball as well. Manages to swivel away from the ex-ball carrier and offloads it to Cale Hodgson. He's got more than enough wheels to filter into the corner.
Yeah, fantastic work and a breakdown from Lindenwood. And a fantastic finish. Just we want every winger to be. He just gets ball in hand and takes off like an absolute racehorse down that line. He's gonna absolutely kick himself, Chris. He's done the age-old Lindenwood nightmare of sliding in for the try. He's gonna have some nasty turf bread on his legs, but he'll be superbly happy with his effort.
Yeah, I tell you what, with the way this scoreline looking like it's gonna end, he's not going to be worried at all about that turf bed. Lindenwood have managed to extend the lead again to a 30-point advantage with 20 minutes to go. This is looking like quite an insurmountable task here for the Red Wolves. We must give credit where credit is due. It's been a hard-fought 20 minutes with neither side giving a point, and it was always going to take a moment of magic to crack that. And that moment of magic just happened to come in the form of big Tanache Mochena. Makes the steal, rips it away from the opposing player in contact, and all he has to do is offload it gently to Cale Hodgson. who is in the corner.
Yeah, and we spoke about the effort that Cody Earhart's going to do when he comes on the field. I mean, he was warming up on the sideline like an MMA fighter about to go on for Saturday night pay-per-view. He was an absolute menace on the sideline. He's gone on the field, and he's been an absolute menace in his opening minutes on the field as well. And Evan Williams, man, look at him go.
Evan Williams from the touchline, right down here below the commentary box. We had a great view of that one. Tough angle for any kicker, and Evan Williams makes it look really easy.
Yeah,
you see a couple more subs warming up here on the sideline. The big man, Tinashe Machena, rewarded for his efforts. He makes his way to the sideline, and it looks as though in his place we are going to see... Who are we going to see?
Gabe Kettering, perhaps.
Gabe Kettering is on, I believe he's made his way onto the field.
As has Jonah Dietenberg, so perhaps...
Dietenberg is on for Machena, I can tell you that much.
Okay.
I think...
Liam
Smith off for Gabe Kettering.
Kettering.
Machena off. Dietenberg in. He's going to go to the second row. I presume that's going to bump Ross Brockett out of the second row back to the loose trio. So we'll see how the game unfolds from here on off. A lot of Lindenwood forwards. Lindenwood opting to go with the 5-2 split on the bench this evening. Perhaps in an ode to a tactic used by the Springboks in the World Cup, what they call their bomb squad. 5 forwards on the bench, only 2 backs. And that's what Coach Macy does. He sends his forwards out there, asks for a solid 60 minutes, and they empty the tank, and then he's got a fresh virtually a whole entire fresh forward pack on the bench that he can roll out.
Yeah, Chris, that's the one and only time this evening I'll allow you to say the words World Cup in my presence. So thanks for that. Yeah, but as you mentioned, a great bench from Lindenwood, and it's probably as you say, tactics from head coach Josh Macy. He knows what he's looking for from his team in the closing 20 minutes of the game, and he's got options. This Lindenwood team is deep.
Yeah, no, it's a great attribute of this Lindenwood rugby team. They have great depth. A lot of the players who've made their way onto the field with the final 20 minutes here, the subs, could arguably make a very good case for why they should be starting for this Lindenwood team. But nonetheless, it's not about individual achievements or individual performance here at Lindenwood. These guys are all working with the same common goal in mind, and that's to win the next game on their schedule and slowly work their way towards a national championship. Arkansas State with yet another kickoff. They opt to go deep, and it looks like the ball's coming down on Reece Smith. Easily gathered by Reece Smith. He pops it to Morgan Purcell, who's looping around. Morgan Purcell beats the first tackler again. That's not what the Red Wolves want to see. He's able to work himself upfield. Fulton finds Evan out the back. Evan puts boot to ball. Finds grass at the back. Eventually cleaned up by the Red Wolves. Scrappy pass though. Ball goes to ground, and now the Lions are up in the Red Wolves' face. Deep in Red Wolves territory, they're having to force a couple passes to try and get up over the advantage line here. Eventually brought to ground, and a penalty goes the Lions' way. Small mistakes on the Red Wolves' part are starting to compound, and it's really starting to hurt them here. Simple passes under no pressure should be going to hand, and they should be able to counter-attack out wide. Unfortunately, those passes aren't going up to hand, giving the Lions an extra couple seconds to put pressure on the kick chase and force a penalty. Great work there by the Lindenwood Lions.
Yeah, Williams just comfortably putting the ball into touch here. He knows what his forwards are capable of, and he's going to give his team absolutely every opportunity they can. We see a replacement coming now. That man's going to take a break. I mean, I'm going to give him a hand as he steps off the field. He's done fantastically well here this evening, Evan Williams. He's going to be replaced in the fly half position by the Chubbuck, Idaho man, Colson Warner. He's going to take over the reins and leading the back line here this evening. First look at the line out from Lindenwood. And he's going to get a full arm penalty for that one, Chris.
Yeah, the Red Wolves players unfortunately playing the Lindenwood man in the air. We all know that's a penalty. You can't play a man in the air. At line out time, though, it is very easily, as the contesting jumper, you've got your eyes on the ball and you're just trying to hook that out the air. But if you do hook the opposition player's arms, that's adjudged to have been playing the man in the air. So full-on penalty to the Lindenwood Lions, and they've put the ball out into touch once again.
Yeah, Reece Smith taking over kicking duties, it looks like. The man from Colchester, England, went to Conlon Rugby Academy and studies physical education here in Lindenwood. He's going to take over the boot duties. Big boots to fill for Reece Smith, but no doubt he has the capabilities to fill them. Good line out from Lindenwood, taken well by MJ Spangenberger. brought down now. It's at the back of the line out as the line out is brought down by Arkansas State Red Wolves.
Great defensive work there by the Red Wolves at the line-out time. They knew the ball was coming. As soon as the player hit the ground, they all charged in. Managed to drive the Lindenwood Lions back a couple meters and eventually brought the ball to ground. The ball is available there. However, Arkansas State are playing the ball on the ground. This is the third penalty in a row inside the Red Wolves 22. And rightly so, the ref's going to have a chat. If I was to guess, I'd say this is the final warning. If there's another full-on penalty awarded here in the Red Wolves 22, I presume someone will be going to the bin.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, all across levels of rugby, we look at and we see quite often professional fouls in the game. Quite often they come around the scrum time in the later minutes of the game, but these are obvious mistakes from Arkansas State, obvious things in the 22-meter line that is really only going to punish themselves further. There's still 15 minutes left to play in this game, and they really can't afford to lose a man at this stage.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of fatigue creeping into the game, and I think the Lindenwood Lions could sense that, and that's why they've opted for a scrum here on a full-on penalty. We all know when you're playing rugby, it's a lot easier on the body if you're attacking. When you're on defense like this, constantly like the Red Wolves are, it's a lot more draining, and I think a bit of fatigue started to creep in. So the Lindenwood Lions, full-on penalty, they've opted to go for the scrum here, and I think they've seen the ref chat to the Red Wolves, so if they're able to draw a penalty here at scrum time, I think they're hoping that someone's going to get sent to the bin. Lindenwood Lions feed, great feed by Richard Felton. Ball moving forward by the Lindenwood Lions, creeping forward ever so slowly. They're going to keep it in. Arm comes out for the advantage. There's the advantage. Ball spills out. Lions still with the advantage. Morgan Purcell breaks the first tackle.
Oh, he's like a snake on the ground. I'm going to say it's a snake. It wasn't very snake-like, but it's the only thing I can think moves across the ground with as much speed and as much effort as he does there. Keeps his feet, keeps the ball in hand, Chris. I mean, he's about crawled 10 meters on the ground legally in order to score that try. What an effort from the winger.
Initial tap of the ankles brings him to down, but there's just no support there on defense. No one's able to hold the man down on the ground. There's actually no one around him, and he's trying to keep his feet, but he's eventually crawled over. You can hear the crowd erupt into the Lions chant again, as it's been a fairly quiet second half if we were to compare it to the first half. But once again, the Lindenwood Lions giving the crowd something to cheer about.
Yeah, as we see Richard Felton take a break now for the rest of the half. I didn't see who he was replaced by.
He was replaced by number 22, Evan Conlon. Evan Conlon, out of Woodlands, Texas, went to Woodlands College. He's a biology major. He's a junior this year. Makes his way onto the field. Connor Burns takes over the goal-kicking duties and unfortunately leaves that one a bit short. But if we just go back to Reese Smith and Richard Felton, two boys prior to their time at Lindenwood spent 2 years at Iowa Central Community College who do have a great relationship with the Lindenwood Lions. Many a player has made their way after their 2 years at Iowa Central over to Lindenwood. They get a great foundation, great rugby coaching skills over there at Iowa. They make the transition over to Lindenwood, and more often than not, they work their way into their first team, and they're an absolute asset on the field. So great to have Reese Smith and Richard Felton make the move over here to Lindenwood Lions, because they've done nothing except for bolster this Lindenwood Lions team.
Yeah, fantastic work from all the players. I mean, Chris, you rarely see a player who joins this Lindenwood team that doesn't improve their skill level and doesn't really, make a big impact on this team. Arkansas State there with a successful line out. They're going to look to drive this one and make a couple of meters from it. They're still moving at the moment. Ball is at the back with the Arkansas State player. They're really starting to get some speed up moving this one now. Number 16 for Lindenwood comes in, Miguel. He's going to try and disrupt it. It's taken at the back by Cameron Dowie for the Arkansas State Red Wolves. An unfortunate knock on there, but offside. He's
Quick tap by TJ Van Rensburg. He's taken advantage of the penalty. He's beat 3 players and he's cleaned through. Great work. Great awareness there by the Arkansas State halfback, TJ Van Rensburg. What an absolute weapon on attack there. He's caught all the Lindenwood Lions napping. Penalty came their way. Everyone a bit slow to react. Everyone, that is, except for TJ Van Rensburg. Quick tap, makes his way around 3 defenders and is over for the try. And once again, you've got to give credit where credit is due to this Arkansas State team. They're currently down by 37 points, but they're not throwing in the towel. They're still out there fighting for every inch on the field. They're still giving it everything they have, and that's what D1A rugby's here like in the US. Every game's highly contestable. There's pride on the line. Nobody likes to lose against their conference rivals. So although the scoreline might not reflect it, everyone's out there giving their 100%, and the second half has been a really different game than what we saw in the first half. And credit to the Arkansas State Red Wolves for giving it their all. But most importantly, great work there by TJ van Rensburg, great initiative, and a great conversion from the sideline by Masvita Nairembevev.
Yeah, it's a huge kick from out wide, Chris, and just echoing everything you were saying, about the Arkansas State Red Wolves tenacity on the field. He really made caught the Lindenwood team sleeping there, and so was rewarded 45-15 in favor of the Lindenwood Lions. Now, deep kick there is taken well by Lindenwood, and it's a wayward pass again.
Pass, my goodness. Another shocking pass by the Red Wolves there.
Yeah.
It's number 14, Emil Blanc. He's gathered the ball off the kickoff and he's flung a 15-meter pass to absolutely no one. It's gone into the end zone. Fortunately for the Red Wolves, though, they've managed to dive on it. But nonetheless, it's a 5-meter attacking scrum to the Lindenwood line. That's the last thing they'd want to do after finally getting some points on the board.
Yeah, certainly a very unfortunate pass, Chris. I mean, he caught the ball deep. The Lindenwood players were up and advanced, so he had to do something. And in the latter stages of the game, he's played very well up until now. Just an unfortunate pass.
Unfortunate is to put it mildly. I don't want to be rude, but I'm not sure who he was passing to. There was no one behind him. I think maybe the ball just got stuck in his hand a bit.
Lindenwood scrum now. Cody Earhart putting the ball into that scrum. It's going to find its way to the back as the Lindenwood scrum starts to move now.
Here comes the advantage. Lindenwood just marching this ball upfield. They have the advantage. The arms out. Eventually the referee blows a whistle as the scrum collapses half a meter in front of the try line. And I have no doubt that the Lindenwood Lions are going to opt for another scrum right here. They know they've got the upper hand at scrum time, and why not make their opposition pay for that?
Yeah, Chris, absolutely. I mean, they've just driven Arkansas State back almost the entire way to the try line. Fantastic work from them. And so, what they're going to look to do here, Lindenwood, is just keep piling on the scrums. Keep doing as many scrums as possible in this closing 8 minutes of the game. Tire down the Arkansas State forwards and, look to finish this game in best as possible. So another look at the put-in here for Lindenwood. It's going to be Cody Earhart again with the put-in at the scrum. Starts to move again, does the scrum here for Lindenwood.
Another solid scrum.
Cody Earhart balls it in there. Penalty try. Fantastic work from the Lindenwood forwards. And we even see Cale Hodgson making his way over this time. Not quite as far, Chris, but he's going to go over and reward his players, and rightly so.
Nothing better than seeing a winger get round the front row as a scrum time. Give him a bit of a ruffle of the hair at scrum time there. But you know what, Harold, this just goes back to what we spoke about earlier, the depth that the Lindenwood Lions have on their bench and that so-called bomb squad that they have. 75 minutes into the game, you have 5 fresh forwards out of 8 on the field at scrum time. And then here we have a scrum 5 meters out. The five fresh legs make themselves felt, drive their way over the try line, penalty try to the Lindenwood Lions.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, I can't really say anything more than what you've just said, other than Lindenwood are absolutely doing themselves huge numbers here on the field, and the coaching staff are going to be absolutely electric with what's happening on the field. A penalty try in the closing 10 minutes of the game is absolutely fantastic. Aaron Brownie will be absolutely beside himself for that effort from the forwards there in the scrum, and a great kick, a nice deep kick, relieves some pressure for Lindenwood. Ball back on the 50-meter line, Arkansas State line out.
Yeah, great nudge there by Reese Smith after he gathered the kickoff. There's not much more to say other than that. I tell you what, one thing I do know is that forwards and scrum coach for the Lindenwood Lions, Aaron Brownie, he will be owing his forward pack some ice cream this week, Thursday, at training after they've won a penalty try at scrum time. The rule was either we push one over or we get a penalty try at scrum time, and he would take us all out for ice cream. So, Coach Brownie, I hope you're ready. This week, Thursday, the commentators might be joining you for that little ice cream trip.
Very well-deserved ice cream trip. And
penalty
so,
comes
another
after
penalty
the Lindenwood march the ball 20 meters downfield. The forwards are exuding confidence, making their power showing. Asakada, number 5. Here comes the yellow card. Thank you for your effort so far this evening. Here out comes the yellow card. The crowd is cheering. There's noise erupting all over the stadium. Lindenwood are really making their lead felt and their presence felt as well.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, keeping it as respectable as possible. I mean, Asakata has played well for the Arkansas State Red Wolves, but, you know, in these closing minutes, you have to keep your discipline. And Arkansas State Red Wolves have already been warned. They had 3 penalties in their own 22-meter line in a matter of seconds. And so the referee, rightly so, reaches to her pocket. Arkansas State are going to play the remainder of this game with 14 men on the field. And this is going to be something that Lindenwood are going to spend the next 5 minutes looking to capitalize on the one-man advantage that they have.
And to make up for that one-man disadvantage that the Red Wolves have, they've rung in the subs. On comes number 16, Devin DeVos, number 19, Isaac Moore, and number 23, Ruiz. So they'll be looking to make their mark on this game. There's not much they can do now to change the final scoreline. Reese Smith with the short ball, show and go, beats Ms. Vita. Well over the advantage line, ball's available. Evan Conlon a bit slow to get it out, unfortunately, and the Red Wolves are able to counter-ruck and turn it over. Nonetheless, big pressure here for the Red Wolves. They're running from their 22 again. Ms. Vita breaks the line. Ms. Vita puts boot to ball. However, Colson Warner well positioned at the back to clean that one up. He slings it back. It finds Connor Burns. Connor Beans beats the first. Offloads to Cale Hodgson. Cale Hodgson 2-on-1. Inside to Stefan Alberts. Ball goes down. Cale Hodgson's there to clean out. Ball's available at the back. Picked up well by Bjorn. Bjorn is taken to ground. Arkansas State appear to be off their feet, but the ball's available at the back.
Yeah, needs to come back for Lindenwood now. I mean, number 21, Cody Earhart's got to start digging around for that ball, or the referee's going to give it to Arkansas State. Short ball now to Cale Hodgson. He's just taken an absolute bash there. Why not? Why not have a go with it? Ball out now to Emmanuel Alberts, who's going to take the ball and run hard with it. He's over the top there, the Lindenwood man. Ball out the deep now. It's going to be Colson Warner. Finds, doesn't find Burns.
Red Wolves put boot to ball. It's nicely cleaned up by Morgan Purcell. He's on the ground. The Red Wolves have dived straight on him. You'd think that's a penalty to Lindenwood. Unfortunately, the penalty goes the other way. Bit of a head scratcher, that one, but nonetheless, great pressure there by the Red Wolves. They've earned themselves a penalty, and you'd think they're going to put this one out in the corner.
Yeah, you've definitely got to think Arkansas State here are going to be looking to put some more points on the board before this match comes to a conclusion, Chris. I mean, so much excitement in the 77 minutes that we've played here at Lindenwood University, and I really do hope that those of you watching at home have been just as excited as we have. Hopefully we've not been too annoying for you on the commentary, but boy oh boy is this exciting Lindenwood rugby to play. I mean, it's exciting collegiate rugby no matter who's playing. You know, we're going to be biased because we're here at Lindenwood, but Chris, if we were watching a Cal Life game, we could well be just as excited with how either team would be playing there.
Yeah, as a rugby supporter, there's nothing you love to see more than tries being scored, and there's been absolutely no shortage of tries being scored this evening. Great work by both teams. Little under 2 minutes here. Arkansas State will be wanting to have the last say in this game as they have a line out on the attacking 22-meter line. Lindenwood will be wanting to have their say with that. Ball goes to the front of the line out. Scrappy ball stolen by the Lions. Cleaned up by Emmanuel. Emmanuel flings it out to Bjorn. Bjorn gathers well. Brought to ground eventually. But nonetheless, the ball is secured by the Lions. They have possession. Short ball from Evan Conlon. Finds Ross Brockett. Ross Brockett over the top of the first defender. Ball's available again. Colson Warner's dropping deep into the pocket. Evan finds Colson. Cleanly taken by Colson. Puts boot to ball. There's a man at the back there to gather. Number 21, Elvis Serkey.
He's finding his way through.
Well brought down by Evan Conlon. Great work by the replacement 9 there to make the tackle and not only get the tackle but get back up on his feet. Red Wolves giving it everything they've got here in the dying minutes. Lindenwood defending their try line with a bit of pride. It's a battle of the egos here. Who's going to have the final say on the scoreboard at the end of this one-sided match? Red Wolves giving it everything they've got. Mizviti with ball in hand. He plays it out the back to the 8th man on the loop. He's going sideways. Eventually brought down. Possible obstruction, but the ref allows play to go. Ball at the back for number 9, TJ Van Rensburg. Lions set their line. David Ige, he's had a massive impact since coming off the bench. Brought down well by Miguel. Ball's available again for TJ Van Rensburg. Masvita with ball in hand. Sends it out the back. Gathered well by number 17. Brought to ground. Cody being a pest at the breakdown. The ref's going to ping him though for side entry at the breakdown. And the Red Wolves have yet another penalty. The clock struck 80. The game is over. Are the Red Wolves going to have one last crack at scoring a try? You'd think they will, because that's just the spirit of collegiate rugby. The game may be lost, but there's still a lot of pride on the line, and it looks like Mizvita's kicked that one dead, and he's done just that, and that may be the end of the game.
Yeah, that's going to be it, Chris. I mean, you kick the ball dead in a situation like that, and ordinarily, okay, no, according to the referee, but ordinarily that would be enough. And so Lindenwood are going to have a 22-meter kick here in order to restart the game. Chris, as we reach these closing seconds of today's game, it's been an absolute 23-man effort. I really do hate to single anybody out, but in the true spirit of the game, let's see if we can do that. Your man of the match for today's performance.
It is a tough one. I'll tell you what, I could easily pick 3 man of the matches on the field. But Evan Williams, pivotal. Before we get to naming man of the match, TJ Van Rensburg for the Red Wolves takes advantage of the snapping Lindenwood Lions with another quick tap. The Red Wolves send it wide. They've got the overlap. It's held onto by Emil. He's eventually brought down by the Lindenwood Lions. They have men over there. And the Lindenwood Lions aren't going to want to give up easy points here. Great line. What a great shot there by Gary Kettering. Shoots out of the line. Mizvita swinging it wide. It's the captain. He flings it out the back to number 22. 23, brought to ground. Great tackle by Stefan Alberts. The Lindenwood Lions are driving them back.
Yeah, relentless defensive work here in the closing seconds from Lindenwood. It's going to go wide again from Arkansas State. Brought down there in the middle of the field. Lindenwood, as you said, Chris, not going to want to give up absolutely anything here. Ige is going to take another hit for this.
Clean by MJ Spannenberg, and that's going to be the final play of the game. He's whipped it away, but no, the Lions aren't going to kick it out.
Warner, go for it.
Keep playing. It's up to Morgan. Yeah! Morgan's going to go on the one. Go Morgan. Shut down Lindenwood Lions. 85-meter try picked up by Morgan Purcell. That's going to wrap up the game, folks. Well done, Lindenwood Lions.
Fantastic work from Lindenwood. And that just goes to show the game is never over until the fat lady sings, Chris. Fantastic rip by number 4, I think it was possibly MJ for the Lindenwood Lions. Ripped the ball clean. The ball went deep. And Colson Warner said, no. We're not kicking this ball dead to conclude the game. He takes a run for it, gives it to Morgan Purcell, and he's going to keep running with that ball, Chris, and run, he does.
Ashley Harrop, that is D1A college rugby here in the United States. The game is not over till the fat lady sings. Call me the fat lady, because I've been singing in the microphone all evening. But Colson Warner could very easily, in his own 22, have put that ball out into touch after it was well ripped by captain MJ Spannenberg. He looks up, sees a 2-on-1, beats the first man, offloads to Morgan Purcell, has 2 defenders to beat who are coming on across cover, gets rid of them easily, and manages to dot down under the poles. With the big swan dive, conversion made by Connor Burns. Final score 59-15 to the Lindenwood Lions. What a performance we've witnessed here this evening, Ashley.
Yeah, huge performance. Absolutely monstrous from Lindenwood University against a conference team, Arkansas State Red Wolves. Ladies and gentlemen at home, thank you so much for joining us. As we did start to mention, Chris, I do want to give credit where credit is to Evan Williams, our man of the match today. He was absolutely phenomenal from the boot. He really directed his backs and forwards around the park with absolute tenacity. He was cool, calm, and collected for the entire time he was on the pitch. Anything to add?
Didn't put a foot wrong the entire evening, did Evan Williams. Absolutely led the team from the number 10 position, dictated well to his backs. All his backs were right there when they needed him. Great job by Evan in the pivotal role this evening. Boot to ball. He couldn't do anything better than he did. Great performance by Evan. Thank you very much for joining us, folks. This is Chris Schumann and Ashley Harrop signing off from Holland C. Hunter Stadium here in St. Charles, Missouri. It's been a pleasure to be with you this evening. We hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll catch you here next weekend as the Lindenwood Lions take on the Central Washington Panthers.
Cheers. Thank you very much.